was 10 years old when I remember coming to the US, and I was terrified. I didn't come with my mom. I came in with some strangers that I didn't even know. So that part was terrifying to me. Just coming alone with some random people was scary, but I was comfortable enough to go along because I knew I was gonna see my mom at the end of it. That was definitely traumatizing, in a sense that I would never want my child to go through that because it's pretty scary.
I was 13 when I moved to Colorado from Costa Rica. My family and I flew to Colorado and eventually overstayed our tourist visa. But it was a very simple experience of get on a plane, like we're going on a trip, but we're carrying hundreds of stuff and lots of bags. We stayed with my aunt who used to live here.
I was brought here to Summit County when I was 5 years old. My mother was a mayor and my father was a journalist in Colombia. And they found that my life could be so much better if they moved to the United States. I don't remember too many things of my crossing. I do remember that I came in an airplane. I also remember that it was an incredibly disorienting experience having to grow up with a completely new language, a completely new culture. And I also remember that it was sometimes a really isolating experience not being able to find folks who had the same identity as me, being able to connect with families who have gone through the same kind of troubles or challenges.
My mom came to the US because unfortunately my dad passed away when we were very young. She was left as a single mother caring for 3 kids. She had a lot of debt in Mexico with all the funeral expenses and all the medical bills and everything else because my dad passed away in Denver, not in Mexico. So she was left with all the medical bills and the funeral expenses and taking care of her 3 kids, and her only way was to coming here and bringing us with her to give us a better life.
We came to the US because of opportunity. Everybody's kind of chasing that American dream. We had visited a couple times, we loved it, and then in Costa Rica my dad owned a business and unfortunately it went bankrupt. Within 6 months we were really struggling to make it over there, and you know, with school and everything, it's not cheap. And so my parents decided, hey, let's go try it out. Let's go try out Colorado since we have family there.
I learned it when I was about 8 or 9 years old. Some kids know when they are 16, when they're 17, when they've lived their entire lives not knowing, and the time that they're realizing it is when they're trying to actually get a license or when they're trying to get a job. It's an incredibly heartbreaking moment for them to find out that they don't have a status. For me, it was heartbreaking knowing that I didn't have a status while all of my other friends and families were getting the benefits of being a citizen, which is being able to go to college, being able to have scholarships that would pay you completely, being able to take advantage of FAFSA, federal benefits, and even just something as simple as being able to drive and going to have a job. I had to do all of those things under the table. I felt like I was going to be pushed into criminality.
That always scares me because we have a US citizen kid. My daughter was born here, and just the fact of us getting deported and her staying here, that's nerve-wracking to us.
I'm afraid that I'm gonna be working as a nurse, getting off work late, driving home, and I get pulled over for a taillight that's out, and that eventually somehow results in me getting deported. That is a big fear. I would say that as undocumented and slash DACA student even, we worry about things that people don't have to worry on a daily basis.
I'm afraid that we're not going to be able to live our lives with dignity. I'm afraid that we're going to have to maintain ourselves in the shadows. We're not going to be able to be prideful about our culture, our heritage, our past. I'm afraid not just to be deported, but to lose everything that I've worked for in my life here in the United States.
Our dream is to obviously become legal, become U.S. citizen, residents. Either one works. We want to buy a house. We want to be able to travel. We want to. I want to go back to school, and just offer the best that I can for my daughter.
I hope that there is a way to citizenship for us eventually. I mean, that would be amazing. We are model citizens without the documentation. You know, my parents pay taxes, they're business owners. They just bought a little house in Silverthorne. They contribute back to their community. My brother is in college right now. We're model citizens. We're the people you want in your country. I would love for the DREAM Act or some kind of DREAM Act to pass so that we don't have to worry about, you know, our immigration status in a country that we call home now.
I feel like we're living the dream in many ways. I feel like we've had a lot of challenges, we've passed a lot of barriers, but I feel like we really are living that American dream. My family is happy, we're stable in a lot of ways. I have a job that I love. My parents are proud that I have that job. I think that if I could ask for anything more, it's just an insurance of that stability, knowing that that's not going to go away. I would ask folks to take a moment to listen to our stories, to take a moment to be able to open up your hearts to us, because if you listen to our stories, if you listen to what we've gone through, you'll find so much common ground in what we can do together.
I want to say thank you for being here, just showing up and being open to learning more about DACA and learning more about the people behind it is such a huge step.
I want them to know that even though it's hard for a lot of us, I am hopeful that things will be better. There's a path to us, and hopefully it will be there soon.